one will be massive. Legacy 2026, the Independence Edition. Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m., Rodney Bay Pavilion. It's the big war. Legacy presents one of the Caribbean's greatest artists ever, the undisputed queen of soca, Destra. Yes, Destra Garcia. Destra. Then our groovy giants, Edison John, doing his vintage set.
I must have a woman to come and wine up on me.
And King Alpha. Plus the outstanding St. Lucian cast, a mix of legends and rising stars. Ashanti, Educator, Desro, Manchas, Black Eye, Short Pants and more. Legacy 26 will be an epic show. Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m., Rodney Bay Pavilion. Limited early birds $120, regular $150. Tickets available at Steve's Barbershop and The Way. Sponsored by Republic Bank, Massey Store, First Citizen, IBS Solution, Piton Bear, Crystal Clear Water, Flow, and the Independence Committee.
Come on, come on again, everybody now.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The CDC opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Tuesday afternoon to you, everyone. Welcome once again to The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and producer. Our program is weekdays from 12:30 until 2 p.m. on the radio station Real FM that serves you on two frequencies, 91.3 for the north and 91.5 for the south. We're also available on our sister television station, MBC, that you can get on the Flow Cable TV service, channel 120. We're on Facebook Live and on YouTube live streaming as well. It is the 27th day of the month of January 2026. We're rapidly nearing the end of the first month of the new year. Soon the new year ain't going to be so new anymore, but we have so many things coming up. You know, the baton relay, Independence, Valentine's Day, you know, you just name it. And it's just a season of continuing action in our country, and we're sure in many other places. Jazz Festival for this year, we've already seen the press launch of it. But let me tell you something. I like to tell you my business, you know, that I was just returning to the station to host The Real Issues, and then from afar I noticed that the sliding, you know, how you call it, iron gate, the automatic whatever gate and so on, that it was closed. And I said, wow, this is unusual for this time of the day. I would find the gate if I come a little early for the Zafeno program, which I'm hosting these days, and I have to talk about that in a moment. Or, you know, in the night I forget that they were closed already and I happen to drop by or pass by, I'll see it closed, and not that I'm coming to work at that time. And then I wondered, but why is the gate closed? But I came and there is this little, you know, sub-gate or smaller gate that a person can enter without driving in and so on. The padlock was on. I noticed, you know, I had to take it off and get inside pretty manually, you might say. And then when I reached the front door was locked also, which is very unusual for this time of the day. I knocked, and thanks to my co-workers, a few of them, at least 3 of them, came to answer the door. And then I inquired the reason for the gate being closed and also the front door being locked. And then they told me what it was about. So I said, hey, to the people most directly concerned, one of you got to come on the program with me to say what has happened. Apparently, threats have been issued to MBC over a news item that was carried. And I want to thank in advance that I have one of our reporters, I think the one who handled, produced, or presented that story in the person of Miss Kayla Edwin, to tell us exactly what has happened that has resulted in us having to beef up our security, you know, at high noon in the daytime and so on. What irked somebody to make a threat that we felt we had no choice but to take seriously?
Well, I believe it was following the report that we put out last night in regards to this whole TikTok trend that's going around with, you know, well, mostly young girls saying, you know, certain things that they would want to no longer tolerate or cut out of their lives in this year and whatever it is. And the concern was raised because secondary children were now going on this trend, but it became sort of inappropriate. They were making, you know, inappropriate comments as to the so-called things that they want to cut out of their lives. So the minister, Education Minister Honorable Kenson Kasime, did respond to the matter, you know, urging parents to, you know, increase on the supervision at home. It's, you know, the parenting, you know, needs to be, you know, at home. Children need to be supervised in terms of what they do on the devices, what they are watching, what they're participating in, and what
they're putting out there.
What they're putting out there, exactly. So, you know, that was basically his response, and telling parents, you know, don't be afraid to do these things. Take your child's phone, look for it, see what they're doing. If you have to confiscate it, don't be afraid to do so as a form of punishment and whatnot. And he was just basically encouraging parents to beef up the supervision at home. But I think the problem that a parent or relative may have had was that we used her niece's video in the report, although that we did blur her face.
Okay, so the niece's identity was not revealed.
No, we blurred her face on the report. I mean, we cannot just put her face out there, you know. And she called the station this morning, asking about it in a very rude manner, I must say. Asking about it and, you know, saying why is it that we used her niece's video in particular.
So based upon the video, do you think she has a point that maybe people can know that this is her niece's video because it's out there already? A few people might have been familiar with it. I mean, what's the point? If you blurred the person's face, What is she concerned about? That people will still be able to link the video to her niece?
I'm not too sure what her concern was, but what I'm
she was
saying,
so angry she could hardly eat.
these parents need to understand, whatever your child puts out there on social media, if it's public, everybody can see it and anybody can use it, especially if you allow people to do so. You can prevent people from doing so in certain settings of a app or whatever it is.
Right.
But once you post it on social media, it's public. Anybody can see it, anybody can use it. But we made sure, out of discretion, to blur her face and whatever it is. So I'm not too sure what her problem was. She said she'll bring a lawyer and whatever it is. So that was the whole hurrah this morning.
She must have said something more severe than lawyer. I mean, lawyer is a legal, orderly process.
Well, she said she would come here herself.
Okay, right.
She was very rude, and she said, she would come here herself, and it's not if you wanted to come at NBC. So, I don't know if the matter would escalate. I'm hoping not, because I see it as something so small. At the end of the day, why hasn't she not questioned her niece and what her niece put out there on social media? That was the whole point that the minister was making, supervision. Did she even know that her niece put out the video? I don't know if maybe she was surprised to see her niece on TV or whatever it is. Again, I don't know what her concern was. She was just sounding very upset that her niece was used in a news report. I don't know if maybe because I don't know if she thinks that we're using her niece as an example of the bad things that the trend was saying, which was actually wasn't the case.
Like we are picking on her niece or something.
No, actually, because at first the trend did
I'm
start.
saying she would have thought that her niece is being picked upon because
maybe I don't know, because I'm saying at first the trend started fine. It was just normal things that the girls were saying, and her niece was one of them. I don't find that she said anything too inappropriate.
All right.
And we were using her as an example of that, of how the trend started. But then they had the other video of I think it was Barbono Secondary School children.
Right.
And then the comments were like so inappropriate, especially for children at that age. And so again, I don't know why she called. Like she was so upset, like we did something so out of the way. But again, we ensured that we blurred her face. So I don't know what the concern is about.
Well, she must have sounded pretty menacing for us to have taken the measures that were taken at the gate and the door.
Yes.
I'm assuming the police and all would have been notified that the regulation responses and practices that we have them in place. You don't have to answer that, but I think our management, if they have been notified, which they should be, would have taken the necessary steps, which have become protocol now. A bomb threat is made, you have to evacuate. A threat against people's lives and person and safety is made, the police have to be notified. So I'm assuming that our management is on top of that. Okay, I wish you all safety and to continue to have the commitment and the courage to continue doing your work as well as you have been doing it, to not be rattled by this, and let's hope it's just another thread that falls to the ground and nothing comes of it. Okay,
I hope so.
I'll be keeping my eyes peeled on your behalf, like all of us. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
All right, our news reporter Kayla Edwin taking a little break from the newsroom to join us and to just bring us up to speed on some threat. I won't say threats, but one person seems to have called and made a threat based upon the content or the output of some news item involving teenage schoolgirls, I'm assuming, and let's hope that nothing comes of it and that people will understand that the media takes its work very seriously and we don't do it to spite anybody, and that such menacing responses are utterly unnecessary, as indeed they are unlawful. Folks, speaking of matters NBC, I had intended, or I thought, after a very long commercial break on Zafeno this morning, I thought that I could even safely blindside my co-host Jaime Etienne by making a few comments about it, and I said no, Jaime's probably going through enough already. Don't put him through that. So I'm going to use the real issues, because it seems to be something that some people are trying to make an NBC-wide, kind of issue and so on. Let me begin by stating that NBC is located, the station, inside Sanssouci. Right. Before we moved here sometime last year, it was, we were on Barnard Hill, close to, opposite the cultural center grounds, not opposite the entrance to the cultural center, actually, a little lower down, next to a water tank that stood between the station, the building it was in, and the car park. I'm giving all these descriptions and details because just a little lower down MBC, when you continue the road, as if you're heading towards Serenity Park, in a sharp bend that is there's the Labor Department. It's still there. So even where we have moved to, the Labor Department is still a very short distance away from us. There are at least 2 trade unions, if I remember correctly, that have their offices inside Sans Souci. One of them, the Civil Service Association, who have their own building, just a little across the road near the Carmen Rainey School. And I think the National Workers Union is also somewhere inside Sans Souci. Don't quote me on that, but last I remember it was there. I think there are at least a couple lawyers' offices inside Sans Souci. I see a couple, I am tempted to say a few, lawyers' offices inside there. If anyone finds themselves in any kind of dispute with their employer, labor dispute, where they feel they have been treated unfairly, where they feel they have been treated unjustly, my friend, I'm making the point that the Labor Department is just over there. The Ministry of Labor itself is probably not too far. And I believe right now, Honorable Emma Hippolyte, a person who has always resolutely stood up for workers' rights and so on, is the person occupying the labor portfolio. Anybody can go to a union and they can say, okay, if it's their union, and even sometimes unions will take up matters for people who are not on their registered roll of members. If something, Shelton Daniel is treated unjustly, unfairly, at variance, in contravention of the labor code or whatever it is that governs his employment, he has a right to go to Labor Department, he has a right to go to some trade union, whether one that's officially representing him, or he can ask to take up his case, or even, he can go to a lawyer, he can have the matter dealt with. Jaim and myself have lately been inundated with calls, with messages, with people wanting to ask about Yadi, what's the situation if Yadi, why Yadi is not on the show, blah, 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 blah. Lately I see some people, 2 in particular, seem to be deliberately trying to stir up something surrounding Yadi. One of them has posted something online about how they'll boycott MBC. Folks, let me tell you something. I can't tell people what to do. I can't tell them what not to do. I can't do that. You want to go about with boycott and to call for boycott, maybe you know something more than I know. Basically, my situation on almost every occasion you have seen me on Zafeno is either Yadi and or Jaim, one or both of them call me, and they will tell me, okay, we're getting a trip to go to Venezuela, so we want you to hold a program for us and so on, or XYZ ABC, or Yadi would tell me he's going to France to the Olympics, to the Paris Olympics, or something of that kind, whatever. Sometimes when the guys are in Venezuela, they contact me. Yadi, when he was at Olympics, he sent in some clips of WhatsApp, did report, whatever, and so on. I think he's even done, on real issues, whatever. We have had a good vibe, but I cannot tell you certain things as they pertain to human resource and personnel matters. I don't inquire into them. On other occasions, if it's a matter of regular leave or sickness, either Yadi will call and tell me the flu is, busting me up, or Dr. McDowell will call me and say, Shelton, I need you to hold a program for the next couple of days. Yadi is not well, or somebody is not well. My answer always has been, Doc, okay, no problem. I'm here to work. I came down to work. And so to fill in for somebody else on another program, I consider that part of my duties. On rare occasions, the newsroom, for whatever they want me to voice a report or to do something, I've never declined, never refused. I see myself not as exclusively the host of real issues. I am a team player, a team worker, a team MBC. I'm required to do something, I do it. Nigel Nicholas, the station manager, who always is a good guy when it comes to responding to special events and bringing in promotions at short notice, will tell me, hey man, let's do a live broadcast where we'll get people from the other islands to talk about how that hurricane has affected them and burial or whatever and so on. We want you to anchor that on a Saturday, which is not regular day. I have never declined. I'll come, and they've been good. I've enjoyed them and so on. He will source the people. I probably will know some of myself. They will work very well. The whole team will take out. That is the way we operate at MBC. Folks, stop inundating me with messages about what happened to Yadi. I'll tell you why. Yadi is not a man who needs anybody to speak for him. He's very capable of speaking for himself. He's an outspoken man. He's a well-spoken man, So if there's anything that he feels he wants to vent outside of whatever is internal and so on, I think he can do that. Now, you all want to go on saying about calling for boycott and this and that. I can't tell you don't do it. I can't tell you to do it. All right? Basically, when I am there, it is simply because Dr. McDowell, or either of the two guys themselves asked me to fill in for them. In this case, Dr. McDowell says, hold the program together with Jaime until further notice, and it's okay. I don't get into all kind of little nitty-gritty and what's happening behind the scenes and so on. The other thing which I find strange, people, MBC is a private company. MBC is private capital, private investment. It's not a government or statutory agency where it is funded by funds collected from VAT or that is collected from hotel occupancy tax or that is collected from, environmental levy or whatever it is. It's not. It is a private investment enterprise that is funded by the revenues raised through its commercial operations, advertising revenue, whatever it is it does. As far as I know, it is solely owned by a man called Dr. Almus McDowell. That's as far as I know. That's why it's called MBC, McDowell Broadcasting Corporation. Now, if Dr. McDowell, who as far as I know retains complete ownership and whoever he appoints to different positions, if he or any manager, and by the way, I'm not a manager at MBC. I'm not designated a manager. I'm not part of the management of MBC, and as far as I know, neither is Jaime. I don't know if Yadi was a management or is a management person. I don't know. I can tell you I'm not a manager. All right? I'm a producer. I'm a program host and so on. So, if I am assigned to do something, I do it. If I find it is against my principles, if I find it is something that affects my dignity and my respect or whatever it is, I have a right to write about it. I have a right to query it. If I can't take the responses, I have a right to leave, to resign. I can go to the Labor Department and say, look, I'm being asked to do something which is an assault on my human dignity, whatever it is. I have options available to me, but I'm not a manager. If the management of MBC at any time wishes to make a statement on anything pertaining to the internals of the company, relations between management and any member of staff, that is their decision to make. I ain't going to speak for MBC management. I ain't going to speak for anybody. And neither am I going to come out to pronounce on anything that is internal to a private enterprise. Like I said, it's not the tax money. It's not the VAT money. It's not the levy. It's not the fee. It's not the consumption tax that is running MBC. MBC is running on the basis of SAIFE, what they get in advertising. So I don't know how so many people become so involved that not only do they want to almost like troubling you, you can't even sleep sometimes late in the night, people calling you, they want to know this and that and the inside and the other. This is a matter for the management of MBC and whoever is affected. I will say again, the Andrew Haynes that I have known now, and I'm just checking the amount of decades that I have known this guy, and we have been friends, we have been okay, we have collaborated long before we met in media, maybe when Dr. McDowell contacted me in Antigua. One of the reasons I accepted the offer was when I checked people that I knew who had been my friends, my former co-workers, Yadi being one of them, working there, Richard, Frederick, all of that. I decided, okay, MBC sounds like a place I can come to. It's the same way of can I help you? Richard Frederick calls me, if he calls me now and says, Shelton, I want to restart the show on Thursday, but something just came up. Can you hold the show for me? Can you do it until I can really come back? Or you and Albert, collaborate with each other, do the show. I'm going to do it. Not even so much for Richard, even though he's my friend and I've known him. But, buddy, I will do it because it's an NBC program. And I figure helping to keep a program on NBC going is a good thing. It's for the benefit of the station. So, folks, pipe down on this Yadi thing. Allow Yadi to speak for himself because he can if he wants to. Yadi is a man who can speak for himself. If he has to, he can speak emphatically, he can speak forcefully, he can speak with clarity. If the management of NBC want to say, let them say. If they decide, look, this is a private company, we're not taking anything that you might consider our dirty linen, whether with Shelton, whether we have an issue with him to take it out there, that is a decision that they can take with their full rights as a private investment enterprise. It's not a taxpayer funded. It's not a statutory agency. It's not an arm of the government. It's not like the Castries City Council or whatever it is, or constituency council. It is not. It is a private media company. You want to boycott? You want to do this? My friend, that is your right. Like I said, I cannot tell you to do it or not to do it. But I want to say, especially to somebody who will know it's him I'm talking to, stop this continuous stirring up of things, saying things as if you know what you're talking about when you don't know. I wonder how come I work and I don't know the things that you're putting out there and you seem to know. Somebody may be your friend and you want to come out swinging and batting for them. But in the purpose, you are maligning and vilifying and calumnying somebody else. Somebody who may not deserve it. Folks, let's stop this kind of thing. We're a small country. Everybody know everybody and so on. Let me stop this kind of thing. It's not necessary. The people involved can speak for themselves, for who and what they represent, and they can speak loudly and with clarity. There are people who they might not be public officials, but they are public figures. Shelton Daniel is not a public official, but I have to accept I'm a public figure. I engage with the public in a manner that people see me, hear me, they know me, they're familiar with me and so on, and out there putting my voice, expressing my opinions. I am a public figure. That's why when you see I go to certain places, I'm in a hurry. People want to come up and say hello and so on. I'm not a man who have this kind of France, and my chest big up. No. You're doing a talk show. You're talking to people. They come to develop some kind of sense of familiarity and even affinity with you. Make a little time for them, even though you want to dash off. Say hello. Say hi to them and so on. That's the price of being a public figure. Pay it and so on. Don't let it get to your head. But at the same time, understand that you need to engage with people because some of them, they like you so much and they listen to you every day, and that's what they want to tell you, and they encourage you for you to huff them or to be seen. I don't have time for you now and so on. Sometimes I do that. It costs me a little bit, maybe even a ticket if I had gotten outside a little quicker. I think I told you that happened to me some time ago. Leave this kind of thing alone. There's no need for all this kind of people who stirring up, who acting as agent provocateur and keeping this kind of thing going. Before I need to, let me tell you something. One day Dr. McDowell called me and said, I wanted to do the program for me for the rest of the week, a Thursday and a Friday. Later on, I got to know that it had something to do. I did the program solo on the Thursday. Jaime apparently came and he didn't know that I would be on the program. He heard me hosting the program. He stayed in his vehicle. He wasn't sure what was happening, etc. He left. The next day he came, we co-hosted the program together. The Monday I came here to do the program. When I arrived, I saw Yadi coming. We arrived almost together. We almost bounced on each other, as you say. We greeted each other. We had not seen each other for the new year, etc. and so on. We came inside. Jaime had not arrived. Yadi said, okay, let you and I start the program. Just as we were about to start the program, Jaime came in. He went ahead. Yadi even said, let all three of us do the program together. I said, it's a little thing, guys. Do your thing and so on. I went back and so on. And no big deal about it. I don't need to dig into what's there and what's behind and so on. The boss, the owner of the company, asked me to hold the program until further notice. The regular came back and so on. And apparently whatever it was, whether it was a couple of days off he was back. I'm okay. I don't worry about all this thing. This is a private company, folks. This is a private company. It's not any government thing so that everybody have a say and a stake and a right in it. The stake is that We are media, you are audience, you are customer and so on. We interact and so on. Let's just leave it at that. And don't create all this kind of, lie-day that is unnecessary. Much ado about very little, if anything at all. What time is it now, Jaquan? All right. So, Jaquan tells me it's 1 o'clock, and yes, my phone clock confirms that. So let's take a break, and when we come back, I have a little more to say, and then I'll be opening the phone lines for your calls and your messages. This is The Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
This one will be massive! Legacy 2026, the Independence Edition. Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m., Rodney Bay Pavilion. It's the big war! Legacy presents one of the Caribbean's greatest artists ever, the undisputed queen of soca, Destra! Yes, Destra Garcia! Destra! Then our groovy giants, Teddyson John, doing his vintage set.
I must have a woman to come and wine up on me.
And King Appa. Plus the outstanding St. Lucian cast, a mix of legends and rising stars. Ashanti, Educator, Desra, Manchas, Black Eye. Short pants and more. Legacy 26 will be an epic show. Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m. Rodney Bay Pavilion. Limited early birds $120. Regular $150. Tickets available at Steve's Barbershop and The Way. Sponsored by Republic Bank, Massey Store, First Citizen, IBS Solution, Piton Bear, Crystal Clear Water, Flow, and the Independence Committee.
Come on, boys. Come on,
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boost your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prio's Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop, Prio's Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The man, the voice, the voice, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with The Real Issues with me, Shelton Daniel, alongside our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. I hope you're having a good day so far. It's a lovely looking, lovely feeling day, you know, bright and sunny, but not hot and stuffy. It's going to get to that point, I'm sure, as we move along. We still have, you know, the nice little carryover of some windy conditions and a little shower here and there carrying over from, you know, December into January. There's what they call the avant, the après. I think we're having the better part of the après. Remember, conserve water. See what you can do that you don't waste it, because the situation as it concerns the potable water supply, while not critical, described as such, but we do have challenges, and the manner in which we hold will help us to navigate those challenges better. I will continue to appeal to my people, the garbage collection. You know, when I came and I saw the gate was from a distance, you know, you can see that the gate to the embassy compound is closed. I decided to park on a little grassy area, vacant lot. I don't even know who owns it, but a lot of vehicles parked there on the other side of the road. Could barely get one spot between two vehicles that was left open at the time to reverse into there. But it was when I got out of the vehicle to begin making that walk towards the embassy gate that I looked down and I saw the amount of garbage, you know, of used, discarded plastic plates, you know, food containers, those that have the multi-compartments and tissue and forks and so on. And I'm saying it's only a matter of time, you know, before the owner of that vacant lot will see that thing and they'll fence it, you know. So a little place where they graciously and kindly, don't bother with that, allow people to park because, you know, they recognize the on-road, the challenges of inside Sanssouci and so on, you know, just opposite Trevor Phillip agencies. You know, somebody come and they sit there and they have their lunch, they eat their food in their takeaway, and it's a matter of just drop it there. It doesn't matter, you know. And you know, the nice little grassy verge, which whoever maintains it well, keeps the grass cut and so on. For them to have to deal with that with people who are not paying them, it's not to say they've converted into a paid parking lot. It's their land, the heavy vehicles, light vehicles that will be, you know, as they say, au fond and so on in the place. And then you have to take, and that's what I find. There's a little pace when you're heading down towards Obed Seraphine, you know, near the Gantas Bay area where they park all these catamarans and so on. I normally used to like to go there because of the big trees that are there, the shade. Sometimes you're in your vehicle and the air condition struggles because you're out in the open, the sun beating down, competing. You know, there's some huge trees there. I have never really checked what kind of trees they are. It's a nice little shade and so on. If you're the person who likes to watch aircraft take off in between to give your eyes some relief from the screen that you're peering at, like I do all the time, you watch whether it is an Inter-Caribbean or a Liat or FedEx or whatever taking off and so on. I stopped going there. I made a decision to stop going there. Because other people go there, and sometimes you don't see too many at first. I don't know if when they see others, they go there. But the kind of bottle caps and plastic things that people are dropping there comes a point where even the people who maybe have responsibility for the management of that inlet, the Gantas Bay, if that's part of it, inlet and so on, they'll want to put up a fence, because over time in the sloping, verges of the road and so on, these things will all end up on their property, and it will end up in the water and so on. It's just too much of that, as if we don't care. I go to that area. I maybe eat or drink something, but I never, unless it slips my hand, drop even a bottle cap, to fall outside the vehicle. Like I tell you, the very same shopping bag that I purchased it from, whether from a deli, whatever, it's there. It serves as my receptacle to contain it, to keep it until I reach a safe place, which could be by my own home, to put it in the big garbage receptacle that the garbage truck from solid waste, whatever, will take to Dayglow and so on. I do not drop it. It looks just out of place. It takes away your joy. There is a joy and a peace. I don't know for others, but I'm sure there are many others. There is a joy and the peace that you derive from just, whether sitting in a vehicle, whether sitting on a stone, whether sitting on a tree stump, to just be there and to watch the greenery of the country, to watch the occasional mongoose, to watch the occasional dove or whatever hopping about, and the blackbird and the butterfly. There's a loveliness about it. Sometimes you feel some stress, you feel some whatever, but just these things, you see them and they give you the reassurance, In my case, because of my Christian faith, it gives me the reassurance that God is there and He's in control and He governs all things. And so do not be anxious over anything, But the peace of God, will guard your heart and your mind, because you see the signs of it about. I don't see the peace of God, I'll be honest with you, The peace of God that surpasses understanding. I'm telling you, my understanding cannot grasp why people would come and just want to spoil a vibe. And that's what I find in the country, Sometimes we have so much of a good vibe going, and we just have to mess it up. I don't know why. We just have to mess up a good vibe. People go to a place they love. Sometime I was by the beach. I saw a couple come out of the beach, and they both barefoot. They're going for a barefoot walk in the sand. And I looked at them. They're middle-aged and so on, but they seem very fun to see the lady wrap her hands around her husband and this and that. I assume it's her husband anyway. And I look at them and I say, who knows? Who knows what verbute wait for you in the sand, the barefoot walk that we all should enjoy and not have any second thought, because there's always some idiot who feels that he has to just toss. Even though you have to smash the bottle. And so, the bottle shards and so on. It's all over the place. We have enough challenges. The city council is doing a marvelous job with garbage, cleaning up the city. But I don't know, there's a set of the zombies and so on, who every night pass and empty a whole set of garbage things. Okay, the zombies, their head not good. Which is why I've been making a case about trying to build up a society where there is more capacity for foraging, so that a hungry zombie can pass and, pick up a ripe golden apple or something, reach out his hand and stretch it out and so on, and maybe it will provide him with a little bit of sustenance and calories, that he don't feel like he's fainting, he's starving, he's dying and so on, or some other fruit or so on, a kind of opportunities for forage, so that people who suffer from mental problems that did not go into to go about. I actually went into the ATM enclosure of a bank, and no other bank than on William Peter Boulevard. And I mean the receipts for the whole weekend, It's not that they spill over or that the bin was full and receipts fell. Somebody took that garbage bin inside the enclosure of an ATM, and they scattered that thing all over the floor. And I said, look at that, a place where cameras can pick you up. Why would somebody be doing that? There must be some kind of culture, whether it's a zombie who go inside there and figure, who knows, somebody might have dropped a couple coins inside there by accident so they can get it. We already have those challenges, but I'm talking about the sane-minded people. I'm talking about the people who come there in a nice-looking car and well-dressed. And you observe them, and maybe they don't see you watching them, maybe they don't care. They eat something and they just fling it out of the vehicle, and I'm saying, but to me, you have all the marks of decency. You have all the marks of young, upwardly mobile. You have all the marks of maybe some kind of, at least lower middle class life and so on. You're well dressed and so on, but you're still doing this kind of thing. Anyway, what I say about that. But those of you, the good people, the public-spirited people, the people who care about your country and the environment, don't give up, okay? There comes a time when people do that. Don't become like that. Do not become weary in doing well. This morning I got a call, and again, I looked at it. A good friend of mine always calls me, St. Lucian, who lives overseas. I like to talk to him. Sometimes when I don't answer his call is because I know that conversation no pakakut. When we talk, it's a long time we talk. But because of what had been happening, what people had been inundating me with, this morning I looked at his call and I said, oh my, not again. I hope he's not on that same topic, of my co-worker or whatever that he's coming to me. It turned out he wanted to take up a subject, and for some reason a lot of people believe that I have this direct line and continuous rapport with ministers and prime minister to take up matters with them, and I don't. Maybe I could. But I find ministers, prime minister, they're already burdened enough. Everybody want to be calling them all the time. And everybody want to have a direct line to them. And do they understand how busy a prime minister and the minister of government is? Because they are also, apart from being ministers in the cabinet, in their various ministries and departments, they're also members of the parliament. They have so much on their plate all the time to do. Of course, the usual thing is, when they're campaigning and they want your vote, they're not being too busy. Come on. I think I've dealt with that a few times before, if not here, in other places. About the difference between a courtship and a marriage. When you're dating somebody, when you want to get them to accept your proposal or your propositioning and to assurance that they're the person you want to spend, of course you indefatigable. Of course you drop them to work in the morning. By 12 o'clock sharp, you're there to pick them up for lunch, to take them somewhere, to bring them back. And by 4 o'clock or 4:30, you're there already. You have no end of energy. You drop her home in the evening. You're back again for you all to sit down and play a little game of Chinese checkers or go for a lime or whatever it is. That is romance. That is courtship. Everything else is set aside. When you do get, if it goes that far and you get married to that person, and you all take mortgage to build house, and then 2-3 children come, sometimes in rapid succession, and you all want to live the life of the successful young people and so on, and you all take the cars and this kind of thing, and then the pressure of loan and mortgage and children gets on your back and so on. You believe that it will be the same way, chasing each other around the house and so on, chasing each other, whether naked or with clothes, where whatever start in the kitchen end up in the living room and this kind of thing. You believe? A lot of people believe that they fall out of love. It's not that. Real world responsibility has taken over. Apart from having children now who can buy away you at any time, which I'm sure most of us, if not all of us, don't want. There's the real thing about this one have a cold, and in the night they're keeping you up and you cannot sleep, and this one bringing a complaint with you about that other one, squeeze my finger, sometimes just a little attention that they want, and you have to mend things about school and so on with them and so on. I mean, come on. You expect that either of you all will have the same kind of passion and drive and indefatigable pursuit of each other that you had when you all were courting? It's a different life, it's a different world, it's a different set of challenges, and you all may well become different animals, It happens so. You believe a minister or an MP who's on the hustings during a campaign, of course they're indefatigable. At great cost to themselves, they're tired, they'll push themselves every limit because it's in a competitive process of making sure that you don't choose the other person, that you keep them and so on. After that campaign is over, you believe they can keep it up? You believe it's sustainable, that they can do it on a day-to-day basis? But anyway, this person called me to say that a lot of Labour Party people have been calling him and complaining about how since the election, the ministers, you can't reach them all of a sudden. Some of them even changing their phone, or they see the missed call and they're not returning the call and whatever. And before I know, he wants me to see if I can run it by somebody. And I said, comrade, you and I think we understand life as it goes. It's still missing a few days for it to be 2 months since the December elections. Do you mean to tell me that this is in any way reasonable for, at this stage, for people to be complaining? After the election, we had Festival of Lights, whatever. We had the whole Christmas vibe. We had VAT-free day. We had, we have started off again. We have already seen launching of a press launching of Jazz Festival, Nobet Laureate Week, announcement of Baton Relay, which will kick off or we launch from tomorrow and so on. And on top of all of that, you see signs that the government has never stopped working. You see all the Kenson Kazimi always posting something about some road of some place that I didn't even know existed, a new name, and with pictures of how they're building it there, of Emma Hippolyte showing developments that they're doing on the west, on the waterfront and in Palmis and this, and Sean Edward, doing this and that and the other, and work is continuing everywhere, and Jeremiah Norbert spearheading efforts, the Mao Road, which is completed, and telling you about Viege, where they will be hosting jazz, and the water project for Patience, bringing it to water for completion, and they're doing things. It's like the government has just not stopped working. Even during the election campaign, ministries were opening, press briefing was taking place, and they were continuing to do work about GPH, about halls of justice. You've been updated about it, and so many things that are happening. I said to myself, comrade, since the election, the government has not disappeared. They're working. You can see evidence of the work everywhere, things that they had planned to do. It's not to say a government, okay, we win the election, we're relaxing. They're not relaxing at all. They're continuing to do the work, and we're being updated about it. I mean, what is it about a complaint that people will be, that they don't understand that the kind of extraordinary effort it took out from the Richard Fredericks and Sean Edwards and Moses Jabatis, if all that St. Jude project and all this thing are hanging on them, and the heavy load of things that they have to handle. They campaign intensely, vigorously, relentlessly, but they also continue to be ministers doing their work. Parliament was prorogued, but the cabinet was still fully functional, doing so much non-stop that nobody can understand. That in an election courtship, plus the regular duties that they had to do of the expected job, that they must be feeling a little tired, that they must be feeling a little burnout. But even then, they continue to operate. But apart from tiredness and burnout and so on, apart from the sheer extraordinary expenditure and output of energy and effort that they had to put out, haven't we seen the realignment of the portfolios? That Stevenson King is no longer Minister of Infrastructure, that Sean Edward is, but Stevenson King is Minister of Information, which will include, I suppose, the GIS and the NTN and so on. Ernest Hilaire is now Minister of Commerce. Kifson Charles is now the Minister of Public Utilities, and Physical Development. Do we not understand that this realignment means a lot of relocation? It means a lot of changing offices and carrying things from this place to that place, and transferring files and moving this and filing cabinets and the stationery, when you realize, okay, we will need new stationery because we are no longer the Minister of Education and sustainable development and whatever, that this sustainable development probably now belongs to climate change, whatever, in Ministry of Agriculture, that the letterhead which used to say Ministry of so and so, you have to change it because that is no longer part of it. So a whole stationery overhaul, that permanent secretary, that now Wayne Girard is no longer a minister in the office of the Prime Minister, neither is Richard Frederick. They have their own ministries, so they need their own stationery, they need their own letterhead, they need a different space and all these sorts of things. Now Wayne Girard will need his own permanent secretary because, he's not a minister in the ministry anymore. So being a separate minister responsible for youth economy and economic development, that he will need a PS, he will need this, he will need, the space now has to be outfitted, the realignment of the units and the personnel and the PSs. Do we not understand that even if they don't come and cry to you, you're not supposed to do, I'm overburdened, no, you put your shoulders to the wheel. You knuckle down and you get things done. And that's what they're doing. That we already less than 2 months, if that's true, people crying and people this and that about how, you understand the real day work that they have to do. That Ernest Hilaire now with a ministry that is realigned in many ways. He has commerce to take. He has to let go of information and so on. In the same time, preparing for Jazz Festival to make sure it's a success. And right behind Jazz, he has already now to be planning for Carnival and this and that and the other. He has a minister working with him in the person of John Paul Estefan. There's things they have to essentially knock heads on and plan together, and basically decide, okay, how are we going to divide up those things? It's a whole lot of things. John Paul is a minister. Will we share the same permanent secretary? Or since we are ministers, will each of us need to have a whole lot of decisions and things that need to be made? Some of them they've already worked out. Others will be a work in progress. Do you understand Kifson Charles, who's now responsible for Crown Lands and the Land Registry, and I think the DCA and those things and so on, which was formerly held by Stevenson King, who had to be operating essentially two ministries, one at Union, which is infrastructure and transport, then physical development in the same building where the Prime Minister is on the waterfront. And so he had to be shuffling between the two of them, having one PS up at Union, another one over there. Kifson now has to come and take it over because right now, public utilities, which used to be at Union, Kifson has to fit it into the Graham Rizzi administration. There's a lot of administrative things and shuffling that have to be done. It's not that. That was an intense campaign. Apart from the tiredness, they have to do the adjustments and the readjustments and the realignments and all the rearranging of things that have to come. What people going to be screaming about all those things for? What's all this about? Hasn't this government given more than a good account of itself? A good account of itself, that they are people-centered, that they are putting the people first, that they are getting things done. We see evidence of so many promises made and promises kept. If we're on the edge of our seats in anticipation of the GPH redevelopment of Port Caceres, what's going to happen in Soufrière, they've already laid out plans of what they're going to do with the L-shaped jetty and a whole lot of things that is taking place. They've already shown us. What's going to happen if the Owen King EU Hospital, the addition of the fifth finger, and this and that and the other that is continuously rolling out, the West Coast Road project, the airport redevelopment project, they go in non-stop with those things. Mister, don't expect every time, and that is why, even if I have a line where I know Philip J. Pierre, once he sees my number, I don't. If anybody asks him, I'm one of the most economical people who is once a blue moon, and it's not because I'm standoffish or I'm keeping a kind of an aloofness or distance. I just don't want to be, unless it's absolutely necessary, troubling the head of ministers. And, some people, once you give them that privilege of an open line and an open door to them, they use it to the max. They're on the phone with you non-stop and they don't know, okay, keep the conversation short. They want to go for a whole hour as if just make the point that they're your buddy. And the day you decline to take the call because you know already, they begin to say how they're not voting for you again. And they're waiting. And 5 years is not 50 years. And me, they used to come by my home and hold meetings there. And that's where they used to, it's like always a whole whip-o-shay. I don't do it. I'm from Dennery. I was born there. I know Alfred Prosper personally for a long time. I think we're about the same age. I'm going to be in his head all the time with something, or Jeremiah, no, but if it is something that can be dealt with easily otherwise, always making some demand, as if always want to, press home the fact that I'm a supporter and I'm a guy who campaign and who always there rooting for you and so on. What is the sense if I'm always there rooting for Moses Jean-Baptiste as an example, randomly, or Alva Baptiste? And after I do that, I am taking it like I give them a boost in terms of the support. But I'm taxing them and wearing them and exhausting them even more with toujours that tête yo on qui pas fini et que yo va pour call moi because you hasav le mo le pas point moi ka commencer oui pocher moi ka commencer threaten moi ka commencer qui ça less than 2 months, less than 2 months. I can't understand, I'm already behaving this kind of way. People, come on, man. Let me grow up now. No prime minister or minister can personally, all the time, accommodate a private call from people, including people who don't know, to keep the matter, short and so on when you're talking. They want to go on and on and on and on. You have nobody else to talk to. You have no other business to do. You have nothing else and so on. that you're already acting up about how they don't have time for you now. And come on, man. Come on. Need I say more? Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. We're on the edge of 1:30. Let's take the break, and when we come back, I promise you, I'm going to zip it. It will be zipped, and your calls and messages will be all that matter.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real Issues, 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
This one will be massive. Legacy 2026, the Independence Edition. Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m. Rodney Bay Pavilion. It's the big war. Legacy presents one of the Caribbean's greatest artists ever. The undisputed queen of soca, Destra. Yes, Destra Garcia. Destra. Then our groovy giants, Teddyson John, doing his vintage set.
I must have a woman to come and wine up on me.
And King Appa. Plus the outstanding St. Lucian cast, a mix of legends and rising stars. Ashanti, Educator, Desro, Manchas, Black Eye. Short pants and more. Legacy 26 will be an epic show. Saturday, February 7th, 8 p.m. Rodney Bay Pavilion. Limited early birds $120. Regular $150. Tickets available at Steve's Barber Shop and The Way. Sponsored by Republic Bank, Massey Stores, First Citizen, IBS Solution, Piton Vert, Crystal Clear Water, Flow, and the Independence Committee.
Come on, please. Come on again. Everybody.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knightsmed Miku, Lay-by Bar, The Morn. Dexter's Place, Jeremy Street, Castries. Citygate Bar, The City opposite the market. Plants Place, Denry Highway. Arlette Supermarket, Soufre. The Release Stress Bar, Labrie Highway. Cool Joint Bar, Victoria Schwazel. Prio's Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prio's Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Yes, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains, and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains, and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
This is The Real Issues. We're going until 2 o'clock and we're taking your calls until then, reading your messages as well. I think we have a first already. You're on the air. Go ahead, my friend.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you doing?
Pretty good. Well, I bring you greetings for the new year.
Thank you.
And your whole people and family.
Same to you.
I just got to strike on 3 points.
Yes.
I love to listen to your program today. And number one, I want the government to give you a job. Okay, as general information public relations.
We have Meli support Rihanna Isidore and Vunet Sentoma. We have
Miss, you are work so hard, so I need the Prime Minister to please listen to what I have to say, so somebody will tell him to give this gentleman a job. You need a government job.
Why you think so?
That's number one. Please. Number two, I've been listening to what you call a police report in the news. One gentleman complaining about how many three police vehicles were involved with him and how they battered him so bad and everything, and he never had any criminal record and whatnot. I need Mr. The Commissioner of Police to investigate that, please. Okay, number three, I would like to, the Prime Minister of National Security, correct?
Yes.
Right. Okay. All right, I realize Mr. DeFreitas talks about the gun amnesty thing that he had out there. I don't know if it was on his own or I need the government, the Prime Minister, to come with all those forces to come together, the Commissioner of Police, the National Security Minister and whatnot, to let Mr. DeFreitas know that putting out this information in the way he put it out there, that was not the right way to do that. Because first to begin, if you want to be saying you bring in the guns, and then you will be telling people at the same time that if you find some gun to be tested for ballistic situations, they will be under arrest. You cannot issue something and then give it a threat at the same time.
I don't think he said they will be under arrest, because sometimes the person who turns in the gun is not the one who used the gun to commit a homicide or whatever.
Whoever used the gun, but what I'm saying, that should not have been put in that.
It could have been. It can be a little bit intimidating. I understand what you say.
Yeah, you got to be very, very
It was not diplomatic, and I believe Deputy Commissioner Philip, he tried to soften it and so on in a manner to come up.
You don't put this thing in there.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, what the government need to do if they want to solve crime, need to make it create in a soft atmosphere. Offer us a monetary refund or some monies, so the public would give you information, right? That's a better bit to put out there. Because if you're going to be putting, you want crime to be solved, there's some woman, some lady or somebody who needs some money. And for sure, because the money, you can't catch no flies without honey. Am I right?
Yeah, I get you.
So you have to be smart and intelligent, right? I hope all them fellas in the police station are listening to what I'm saying. You got to be, offer some monetary contribution to people who know people and would want to turn in the guns and would give you information as how to get to them, but put out the money first.
Okay.
When you put the money first out, you'll see how much productive your citizenry will be in helping you, but don't come harsh just because you want to get, you want to get the guns and get the guns, as if that's a total obligation. The money will pull people from all surface, all corners and nooks and crannies and come out there and tell you secretly if they don't want to put out their name in the public and come in, but they will set up a situation where they can call you anonymous and you have the name and you offer them that money and knowing that they will get it. That is how you put out this type of thing to bring this situation to into some new development.
Okay, my friend. Okay, you've
been
on.
That's the best thing. So they need to get this thing, and I need the government to give you, Sheldon, a job as a general information. In all the ministries, you have all the information, regardless of even if you have his personal PRO. But I want the Prime Minister to please give Sheldon a job.
Okay, my friend. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we continue taking your calls. Let me release the line on this one. 4533911, and I think today we are going to have the return of the WhatsApp line in just a moment. We're just doing a little reboot on it, so we'll soon have this one up. 487-9849, that's the line on which you can WhatsApp call us, but meanwhile you can call us on the landline, and we are getting a call right now. Real Issues, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Daniel, earlier on you mentioned the whole harassment of ministers, and I totally agree with you.
Yeah, speak up a bit for me. Speak up a little bit higher, yeah.
Yes. Earlier on,
I mentioned
the situation where people are expecting to get the ministers on their phone and complaining about, during campaign they wanted to speak to them and afterwards. I am happy that you gave all of the ramifications, especially for this administration, as they have changed ministries and stuff. But again, it is a lesson for the candidates that when they are on the platform to remind the general public that when they do get in office, they have so much to do that it is not easy to get them. Remind them so that they do not expect it, because that's what people expect. They call the minister and they have the minister's number and they must. I am kind of caught in between. Many people come to me to try to get to MP Hippolyte, more so June Hippolyte. Now, let me take another situation that I found myself in today, and I want to find out, is there a change in the way people pay their license so that they can get the ticket? I'm very happy that
the ticket or the sticker?
The sticker, sorry. Thank you very much. See on the term.
You know you can pay your license online now via digital.
But listen.
But you have to collect the sticker physically from the ministry.
Let me give you my scenario. My husband passed 3 years ago. The vehicle was in our names. I have paid 2023, no questions. 2024, 25, no questions. 2026, I'm getting a whole set of issues, so I'm wondering, has something changed?
You're getting a whole set of what?
Issues to get the ticket, to pay the license and to get the ticket.
Okay, that's the vehicle license, not the driver's license.
The vehicle license.
The vehicle license, okay.
when I first went in, I was asked for my husband's death certificate. That was not asked for in 2023, 2024, 25. Okay, I agree. I'm going to get it. Thankfully,
were you paying it using your husband's license as the identification form?
No, because we have it jointly.
Okay,
and
I get you.
Like I said, I have paid it in 2023, 2024, 2025, no issues. So I'm wondering if something has changed for 2026.
Did you make any inquiry to try to ask anybody inside the licensing department?
Yes, I have a lot of stories. Let me give you the full story, and I want to hurry to give somebody else a chance. So I was asked for death certificate. Thankfully, I had that on hand. I went to get it. Then I am asked for the ID cards. I give my ID cards. Both of my ID cards have on it Mary Joan Hippolyte. One has Mary Joan Casabon Hippolyte. I'm told that on the system they don't have Mary Joan, they have Joan Mary. I said, okay, so what's the issue? I need to get a letter of affidavit or a will to bring in. I said, what? I said, okay, I'm not going to contest you. Let me go and get the will because, again, I have that readily available. But when I come back, let me hear who is asking for a will, which is a personal document. And they know you cannot get a will right away, nor an affidavit right away. The ministry says, the people in Beaufort says, it's not them, it's Transport Board. So I'm wondering. Finally, when I told them that I would go to all ends, call Claudius Francis, my lawyer, and everybody else, they said, okay, go back to the insurance and ask them to put Mary Joan Hippolyte on the form. And I'm saying I've paid that 3 years since my husband died and I didn't have that issue. So is there something new? That's what I'm asking. Is there a new piece of legislation? I'm not selling the vehicle. I'm not.
I think it's a question. I think it's a question of amending the ownership. Before the ownership was joint, now the ownership would have passed to you solely, consequent on your husband's death. So that figures now that you've told me they asked you to tell the insurance to put Mary Joan Hippolyte, your name only on it because it's not joint ownership anymore.
No, not even Mary Joan Hippolyte only. They said it was Joan Mary, like they had it back to.
So the order of the names matter.
But then what I'm saying is, why ask me for the will? Why ask me for an affidavit when you know you cannot get these things right away? But anyway, I was just asking that question: is there a change in the law? That's all I was asking.
Okay. I'm not aware of it, but
exactly.
Yeah.
And thankfully, the insurance is right there in Soufriere. I don't have to go to Beaufort or Castries.
Okay.
But thank you very much.
No problem. You're welcome. All right. Okay. Do we have a call on the WhatsApp line? Okay. Our first call on the WhatsApp line in a couple of days because we had problems in the refreshing, and so you're on the air, caller. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Sheldon.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
Mr. Sheldon, as we speak in there at this moment, there are 2 concrete trucks delivering concrete somewhere up Monsieur side there in Swazel. And you should see the state of the road. From the moment you leave the Fisheries Complex, going up to the Free Cross Road, going down that little hill there to the little one-way bridge there, and then you swing to go up to Lirish. You're not going Lirish, you're going down by where Tifo living there. All Sabwish are there. Man, the authorities need to do something about that. My goodness.
Yeah. Can I ask you the video about it that you sent? Can you resend it, please, when you get a chance?
Who me? I didn't send no video.
Oh, it's not him.
No, I didn't.
Okay. What the technician was asking, if you took a video, if you could send it to us.
No, I didn't took a video. I took the number of one of the trucks, the number plate of one of the trucks.
Okay, so when it dries, I suppose it's creating this thing where it can even cut your tires, yeah?
Exactly, and not even that. Just the certain places where it's not the dropping is not a thick amount, but the little gravel on the road, all that causing accidents.
Yes.
You understand me? Buses going up and down in them hills there. The company need to send a crew to clean up the road afterwards.
Yes. Yeah,
you understand me? You should see that even River Dore there by Mr. Carbon Home. You don't see the state of that road there with concrete on it. Lord have mercy.
Yeah. This concrete truck thing is a problem.
When you're going up by Mr. Carbon there, because of the amount of concrete on the side of the road, you actually have to go in the middle of the road to go up, you know. When a container truck or vehicle coming down, you practically in the middle of the road and still trying to give them room to pass.
Okay.
They need to do something about that. They need to do something about those concrete trucks. It's unfair to drivers, Gasa.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for bringing that to our attention. I saw a call coming. All right. Yeah, you're on the air. Go ahead. Yeah, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Is this me?
Yeah, you're on the air. You're on the real issues. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon, Shelton.
Hey, what's up?
How are you?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm alright. You know.
Am I shining? Am I shining?
Pardon?
Am I shining?
Exactly.
Okay. Mo solo watch alma. It's like a clear solo watch alma.
Solo. Solo. Resting solo.
Eko belti. Eko belti shimi jaune.
It must be mandarin or mustard or something. I'm colorblind, okay?
Alright.
Shelton, I want to say to you regarding the conversation you had with your partner about people have high expectations of ministers and members of parliament less than 2 months after an election. We're coming from the Christmas season, you know, and we are heading into independent season and the hype and everything, and we want manna from the sky, you know. We want, let me tell you, I have a new MP. You think, and there are people who have expectations of him already.
They're supposed to have expectations. It's not the expectations I'm saying.
They are supposed
it's the impatience, you know, that already complaining about how
they're not complaining about they don't have time for them when they wanted to see him or when he wanted to see them, and it's not just him. Let us look at those ministers who are there already. These ministers are tired. They've been working hard. Then they went into that election campaign. Okay? That was from August 21st until, and then you had the last activity on December 8th. Let us be real and accept and understand. They are now preparing for budget. And themselves with.
Yeah, that's the other thing. That's the other thing that people don't realize. The preparation for budget would be in full swing, you know, right now.
Yes, they're preparing for budget. So I'm glad to pass. Yes, so no, sit down, no penetration, Mr. Pierre Junior Kaplan, Mr. Pierre Ferrot, Tabai, Okachile. When Mr. Pierre view him in this masala, we got a jalapeno in a stay.
Yes.
One does not do it in a day. Let us wait, give them time, and the other thing we must also understand, not every complaint, every issue must go through the minister or the member of parliament. There are other avenues, other departments, other people who can deal and direct you. So let's find those other ways to deal with our issues without having to blame the politician, the minister, or the member of parliament.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
All right, thank you very much. And in fact, we got a text message that said, in the midst of great ministerial responsibilities, reps are already keeping busy constituency days. Yep, people can be so unreasonable. We have a caller on the WhatsApp line, and I think I recognize that name. He's been a bit negligent of us these days, but I'll forgive him, you know, because I so always like to welcome him. You're on the air, my brother, Reverend Deacon.
When Pukaki called taste no. I go was balance a lot taste no a contier vehicle. Amun gavin pagadi. Matter man happen ba vehicle where when defender ki kaba we bottom pun na sa ashing matter. But anyway, nothing to complain about.
Okay.
Shelton, you know, I am here every day and I'm listening. Now, I don't want to say, like Cornelia, don't blame the government. I'm not blaming government per se. But me here listening every day and hearing the kinds of accidents that is happening in St. Lucia, I am still going to say, I think it's time for the government to rapidly take some decisions. It is better we lose votes than we be losing lives like this. And I'll tell you why. About 4 years ago, there was a boulevard in Queens called Queens Boulevard. Before that, every year about 38 to 40 deaths on that boulevard. Every year. Queens Boulevard was one of the most dangerous places a pedestrian can think of crossing. When the politicians realized, we can't be losing lives like that on that place. You know what they did? They start putting cameras.
Okay.
Speed cameras. Now, 4 years later, Shelton, if you have 3 deaths on the boulevard, you ain't heard much.
Okay.
And think of it, from 48 to about 3. Okay, per year. Because you know why? Drivers don't want to be paying $69. $69, huh? The ticket that will come to you. You see, the police don't have the time to be on the boulevard every time watching the traffic.
That's right.
But you go at 25 miles per hour is what the camera picks up anytime it goes over 30.
Okay.
The camera picks up every. So guess what? You go home and your ticket is in the mail waiting for you. Now, the camera is not just one place, you know. Every 5 blocks, there is a camera there. It became so helpful that they put the camera almost everywhere in Brooklyn. They used to have the camera moving from 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock in the night. The governor of New York State said, you know what? People still die after 10 o'clock in the night. So now the camera moving 24/7. So anytime you move at 30, the camera picks you up. Here is your ticket in the middle. So guess what? Drivers drive, when they reach in the field block, they slow down. So now you as the pedestrian know you are safe in crossing. Now 25 miles per hour, and it's not that New York don't have space, there is road. There is road. You have 4 or 5 lane traffic. But 25 miles per hour, you know why? They tell you at 25 miles per hour, you hit somebody, the person is more likely to survive. If New York not have space and road, highways, you are moving at 25 miles per hour. Simply, I'm not putting my country down. But we have space for over 25 miles an hour, Shelton. And 25 miles per hour getting you to where you're going to.
True.
You know? I mean, I know the finance may not give us that. We can put cameras like that so rapidly. But I think we need to enforce the law. Even on the highways, Shelton, where you can drive at 80 miles per hour, your speed limit is like 65, 70. And there are road troopers. If you're moving at 80, sometimes you just look in the back mirror and you can see them coming behind you. There are places they have speed radars there. And let me tell you, no matter what amount of ways you have on your phone will tell you where the police are, they will still catch you.
Okay.
It's true that police don't like it because it's an app that will tell you exactly where the police are. But for some reason, some of them see you long before you slow down. You know? So then I don't know. I think it is something that the government really need to look urgently. I know they are preparing for budget, which is a difficult task. But we are losing our people. People are losing their lives. That's why the gas station vehicle. When you're supposed to be slowing down, entering a gas station, you're knocking somebody in a gas station. Come on, we need to do better than that on ours. I know we have a lot of vehicles. It is St. Lucia. I don't want to be putting our people down. But let this driver no personal drive. But Shelton, no, we need to do better than that. We need to do better than that. And I think the government need to start calling things out very early to
Yes.
stop that spate of accidents. People can't be going to the road. Now vehicles are like weapons on the road.
Yes.
In a year, if I come in Vini once every month, 3 a week. Nah, we need to do better than that.
Okay.
We need to do better than that.
Thank you very
so
much.
that is my thing.
Thanks a lot. All
Thank you
right,
very
and I think that's where we'll be wrapping up the real issues for today. It's already 2 o'clock. Let me just extend particular condolences to my former schoolmate Duncan Donovan Edward of Viewfort. He's the younger brother of Winson Tallboy Edward. I've already said earlier today that Winson is my former co-worker at Winwood and Leewood Brewery. I also knew him as a shop steward of the National Workers Union, very committed, dedicated one who I think stood up for me when my right to union representation was being challenged and attacked. I won't go into detail. But Donovan, his younger brother, is also my former schoolmate, you know. I mean, we were in the same class, played sports together, joked and jived together, and remain good to this day. There are other members of the family, but I had to remember Duncan Donovan Edward in particular of that family. Thank you so very much, everyone, for being part of the Real Issues. And God willing, all things equal, we'll do it again tomorrow, same time from 12:30 until 2 on the radio station Real FM. We got to go now. Bye.
27th January 2026 World Double Daily Grand 36810 Big 4 6080. The Big 4 Multi-X ball drawn is 5X. Pick 2 28. The Pick 2 Multi-X ball drawn is 2X. One off 430. Lucky 3 079. The Lucky 3 Multi-X ball drawn is 2X.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to